Good evening, councillors. Good evening, Acting CEO Executive. Welcome those in our gallery and those who are joining us online for the April Ordinary Meeting of Council. Sorry if you're following us and we're a couple of minutes late. We have had some technical issues, so hopefully we're clear of those now. I ask you please to be upstanding for the acknowledgement of country and the council prayer. I acknowledge that we're meeting on the country of the people of the Data Wurrung. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the area and their living culture and the unique role in the life of our region. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Almighty God, we ask you to be present in this council, direct and guide our deliberations. We ask you to grant us wisdom and sensitivity as we deal with the business of our shire. May each decision that we make advance the well-being of all our residents. This we pray. Amen. Thank you, councillors. And just one explanation about the agenda. We actually show under item 12 that there is no confidential business. In fact, there is part of 8.10 which relates to this, the Chief Executive Officer Performance Management Report that deals with KPIs and also remuneration. That does need to be dealt with confidentially. So what we'll do is we'll take that part of it as confidential business. So in fact, after item 11, which is other business, I'll seek a motion to adjourn for 5 minutes, which will enable the gallery to people in the gallery to leave, and we'll deal with that in camera, the confidential business, and then just proceed to close the meeting. So that is a little bit different from what the agenda suggests, but it's the easiest way to deal with it. Well, welcome again to the April Ordinary Meeting. Apologies, Councillor Murphy is an apology, and also our CEO is, she hoped to be back with us today, but there's some health issues in the family, so, and also from Mr. Collins there. The apologies. We have no leave of absence. Disclosures of conflict of interest, councillors. No disclosures. Compliments of the minutes of the previous council meetings in the March meeting. Are there any concerns? Not, we'll move to confirm those minutes. We've got no minutes of delegated advisory committees. We have no petitions. Let's go straight to officers' reports. And the first one is the annual action plan, the quarterly report. As in keeping with recent practice, and the CEO is not here, we've got Mr. Smith as acting CEO, I invite Mr. Smith to introduce that report, talking about the progress the officers have made on the actions. So, Mr. Smith, over to you for an introduction.
Thank you, Mayor. So, reports presented there, capturing our performance up to the end of the third quarter. We've got 18 items completed and 54 items in progress at the end of the third quarter. That's really shows the enormous amount of work that the officers are undertaking in delivery of the council plan, but also note that some of those items do continue over to next year or multiple years as well, pardon me. I just want to really thank all those officers working on this action list, but also to note that this doesn't also include many other tasks as BAU tasks that we're undertaking as well in delivery to the community. So really important reports, some good progress being made, and we expect a number of items to come to completion as we get close to the year end. Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks, Mr. Smith. Councillor seeking a motion. Councillor Long.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move a motion that Council note as detailed in the report an update on the status of the projects identified in the 2021 to 22 action plan. Thank you,
Councillor Long. A second, though. Councillor Sproul, thank you. Councillor Long, speaking to the motion, please.
Thank you. Through the Mayor. I always look forward to seeing this particular report on the agenda. It does show how much work is being done. It's concise and straight to the point, as the purpose of the progress report is to give clarity on the progress of projects and not describe every single aspect about what's currently happening. When I look at the quarterly progress report, I'm always in awe at how many projects are currently active on the go in our Shire. I especially enjoy seeing the green traffic light icon on the right-hand side pop up, because that means that projects are actually completed. Linked to the project identified in the 2021-2022 Annual Action Plan, which was adopted by Council in June 21. The quarterly progress report was developed to support the achievements of our strategic objectives identified in the 4-year Council Plan. Very easy to read. The report is split into 4 separate sections: our community, our economy, our built and natural environment, and our organisation, making it a very easy reference document of what the Council is currently involved in and providing a deeper understanding. I'm most happy to move that this report be noted, and I'm already looking forward to the next one in next quarter to see other progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Long. Councillor Sprout.
Nothing further to add, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Other councillors? I think Mr. Smith, on behalf of Council, please pass on to the rest of the executive and to the officers, I think, what is clearly the deep and sincere continued appreciation of Council for a lot of hard work on a range of projects and a lot of tough demands in those timelines, and it's great progress and great work, and we really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Councillors, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? All those against? The motion is carried. Item 8.2, Maryborough Major Reserves Master Plans Briefing. Councillor seeking a motion. Thank you, Councillor.
Mr Mayor, I would like to move that Council endorse the draft Maryborough Major Reserves Master Plans for a public exhibition period of 4 weeks, commencing 2nd of May 2022, closing on 29th of May 2022.
Thank you, Councillor Lovett. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Lavella. Councillor Lovett, I'd like you to talk to the motion, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The draft Recreation Open Space Strategy 2020 to 2029 updates the previous plan 2011 to 2020. The report is our 10-year vision of our major reserves, and it is something of a wish list. It will take a lot of work to achieve, but this plan will be the basis for us and future councils to follow. I would like to put on record thank you to those who put many hours of work to come up with this master plan. Under the capable chairmanship of Councillor Murphy, council staff and key stakeholders from many community and sporting organisations have put in countless hours. I have been made aware of an issue that is out in the public arena and being widely discussed with this plan, and that relates to where the proposed water park will go. The proposal is that it will go adjacent to the Olympic swimming pool. My understanding is that there is a considerable amount of concerned comment in the community. I have to say what has been overlooked in this comment is that this is actually a draft plan only. It is not the final plan. I remind our public that Council put out drafts for public consultation and comment prior to them making the final decision, and the community's comments are taken into consideration in the final decision. In fact, tonight we are putting out 3 drafts for public comment. One, our major reserves master plan that we're debating at the moment. Number 2, our draft budget for 2022-23. And thirdly, our mobility device strategic plan. All these drafts are being put out, and we seek public comment before we make a final decision at a future council meeting. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Lavella.
I just reiterate what Councillor Lovett just mentioned, just to note that this motion we are voting on tonight is purely a draft Maryborough Major Reserves Master Plans for public exhibition. This step is important in raising community awareness and support. It will also provide community members and user groups the opportunity to further respond and/or modify before master plans go back to council for final endorsement. It will provide councillors, council officers, and the OPG representatives with the opportunity to reconsider proposals which may be of community concern. Now is the time for you all to study these plans closely. These are your reserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Other councillors? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried. Item 8.3, the finance report taking us through to the 29th of May 2022. Councillor seeking a motion. Thank you, Councillor Lovett.
Mr Mayor, I would like to move that council receives and notes the attached finance report for the period to 31 March 2022. Council notes an update to the year-end forecast, an operating surplus of 7.6 million and capital works program of 15.4 million.
Thank you, Councillor Lovett. The seconder. Thank you, seconder. Councillor De Villiers. Thank you, Councillor Lovett. Speaking to the motion, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's pleasing to note the operating result for the period to 31 March 2022 shows a surplus of $16 million. Rate notices have been issued for the financial year, so that has actually been taken into consideration in the figures. Also, interestingly, user charges are currently 191,000 behind our anticipated budget. And this reflects the number of fees waived for individual applicants. Council has not adopted a blanket waiver policy for various user fees and charges as it did in the previous financial year, but now each request for waiver through the hardship policy are assessed on the application. The 2021-2022 budget includes capital works program of 20.9 million across property, plant and equipment and infrastructure asset classes. The updated forecast is anticipating a spend of $15.4 million. At 31 March 2022, Council had expended 9.828 million on capital works throughout the Shire. Council's financial position at the end of March 2022 is sound, with cash and cash equivalents totaling 19.2 million and no major issues of concern show up. I should also say that surplus funds that Council have been invested to ensure interest earnings are maximised and cash flows continue to be monitored closely. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lovett. Councillor De Villiers. Other councillors? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Full house, carried. Item 8.4, we've got a few contracts tonight to deal with. The first one, 8.4, a contract in relation to the extension of transfer station services. Councillor seeking a motion. Councillor Sprout.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that council exercise the option under the contract for the additional year. Council's grant Veolia Environmental Australia Proprietary Limited the extension to the G1019-15 contract for the period of 5th of October 2022 to 5th of October 2023 for the estimated annual value of $722,326. And council has authorised the CEO to execute the variation on behalf of councillors.
Thank you, Councillor Sproul. A seconder. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Sproul, speaking to the motion, please.
Through the Mayor. Over the past 12 months, there's been a few of these types of motions with the extensions of contracts. As I stated before on numerous occasions, the world of waste is constantly turning at the moment. And this motion allows for the extension of the transfer station operation contract, which gives our waste officer more time to consult with the community and understand the gaps in information or services. The extension would then align with the expiry of the waste collection contract, which expires in October 2023. The implementation of the 4 waste streams is targeted during October 2023.
Thank you very much. Councillor Long,
Nothing further to add, thank you.
other councillors? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Full house, carried. Item 8.5, the review of internal auditors. Councillor seeking a motion? Councillor Lovett.
Mr Mayor, I would like to move that council note the report internal audit evaluation of manager governance, property and risk.
Thank you, Councillor Lovett. A seconder?
A second,
Thank
please.
you, Councillor Vella. Councillor Lovett.
Through our normal processes, council engaged AFS and Associated Chartered Accountants as our internal auditors via the normal procurement process. It's pleasing to note on talking to members of the council's Audit and Risk Committee that they made comments such as working with AFS is a pleasure. They find them to be extremely competent and very happy with the level of expertise and advice offered by AFS to members of the Audit and Risk Committee. The survey of Audit and Risk Committee members demonstrated a strong degree of comfort with the work of the internal auditors, and that is very comforting for this organisation. Thank you very much, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lovett. Councillor Vella.
I'd just like to note that I'm increasingly impressed by the work and professionalism of and the accuracy of the members of the Audit and Risk Committee. In my experience, the diligence and work going into our Audit and Risk Committee is second to none. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Vella. Other councillors? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Full house, carried. Item 8.6, another contract award G1577-21, the annual supply of crushed rock and aggregate. Councillor seeking a motion. Councillor Sprout.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that council award the contract G1577-21 annual supply of crushed rock and aggregate to Allstone Quarries Proprietary Limited, Hampstead Gravel Proprietary Limited, Hanson Construction Materials Proprietary Limited, Industrial Sands and Gravel Proprietary Limited, trading as Palladium Quarries, and that council authorises the CEO to execute the contracts.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sprout. A seconder? Councillor Viers. Thank you, Councillor Sprout.
Through the mayor. As you can imagine, the Central Goldfields Shire Council uses a fair amount of crushed rock aggregate for many different uses. This tender was for a panel of suppliers to provide crushed rock to the Shire. It is offered for 2 years with a 1-year extension by council discretion. I'd also like to note that the additional criteria, the evaluation criteria of the environmental sustainability, social sustainability and Aboriginal Torres Strait Islanders were included in this tender. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Villiers. Any other councillors? Put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? We've got full house, carried. Over to item 8.7, another contract again. G1579-21, supply of weed pest control, slashing and environmental land services contract. Councillor seeking a motion. Councillor De Villiers.
I would like to move that council award the contract G1579.21 for the supply of weed pest control, slashing and environmental land services panel to the 4 companies as listed: Land Kings Environmental Services, Tailored Ecology, Shay Enterprises, and Recon Forestry, and that council authorises the CEO to execute the contract.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Is it the seconder? Councillor Bell, thank you. Councillor De Villiers talking to the motion.
Thank you. Council recently sought submissions from suitably qualified contractors to establish a panel of contractors to provide weed and pest control, animal control, land management, conservation and rehabilitation works across the Shire's network of rural roadsides and council managed land. This was conducted through a thorough public tender process, and I'm pleased to say that these 4 companies were successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lavella.
It's very self-explanatory. Thank you. You outlined it quite concisely and as per report. Thank you.
Other councillors? Thank you, Councillor Lavella. Other councillors? Well, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Now, item 8.8, the draft budget. This is very much of a highlight event each year, and as it is, given its importance and its uniqueness every year, I'll invite Mr. Smith to give an officer's introduction. So over to you, Mr. Smith.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, look, I'm really pleased to speak to the draft budget for the 22-23 financial year. It's the first step, I guess, in a lot of work done internally by our officers and also through a number of briefings to councillors before we put it out to the public for their opportunity to have some feedback on it as well, which is really important to us. It's implementing on our new council plan from 2021 to 2025. It has an operating surplus of $10.3 million and a capital works program of $18.9 million, 7.8 of that being carried forward from the 21-22 financial year. Our cash position at the end is forecast to be around $7.6 million, which is a result of delivering a number of the capital works program, but also continuing our debt reduction strategy as well, where we're reducing our total debt down from 2.1 million to nothing by the end of 2024 financial year. It incorporates the 1.75% rate cap, but you'll also note in the document the large increase in valuations across the Shire. Obviously, that doesn't allow us to raise extra revenue, but also that does impact where revenue charges, rate charges do go. So it's really, the key themes are really finishing what we've started and delivering and consolidating on a number of projects, programs. We've got some resources there to deliver on some of the risk and compliance issues to continue to support the Audit and Risk Committee. It's continuing working on our digital transformation, but also, more importantly, is that continued business as usual across a whole range of service delivery areas as well. So I'm really excited to put it forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. Much appreciated. Councillor seeking a motion. Councillor de Villiers.
Thank you.
You've been overwhelmed by that introduction.
I've been listening. Thank you. It's a lengthy motion, but basically the recommendation is that we accept the draft budget as proposed by the executive of the council, and that it will be displayed on the Shire's website.
With the opportunity for comment.
Yeah.
Thank you. A seconder to that? Thank you, Councillor Lavella. Councillor de Villiers speaks the motion.
No, you lost my page. Sometimes better to have a hard copy ready instead of trying to rely on digital.
I have found that over time.
Anyway, the budget forms an integral part of our overall strategic planning framework and outlines the financial and non-financial resources required to implement the directions that have been established in the Council Plan 21-2025. Council has a limited revenue base and needs to continually look for alternative sources of income to lessen the impact on existing and future ratepayers regarding future projects. I am pleased with the draft budget presented tonight, which will be out for community consultation. I would like to encourage residents to attend the information sessions that will be held by Council in the near future. 2 information sessions will be held. One will be online and one will be face-to-face and will be advertised on the Council website. I would also like to add that the online session will be recorded and will be available on the council website. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Lavella.
And yes, and I would like to point out, as councillors, we went through approximately 6 weeks of half-day intensive briefings designed to ensure we all, pardon me, we all had a full understanding of the budget and the budgetary constraints and where we're heading into the future. So I was very impressed. Thank you very much to the officers that put it all together. Thank you.
Thank you. Other councillors? Councillor Lovett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's important to point out that council are increasingly concerned with our waste charges. Each year they go up exponentially. I think I'm right, Mr. Smith, when I say that waste charges are exempt from state government's fair go rate system. But we have found it necessary in the coming 12 months to increase our waste charges by 5.52%. And this is to ensure that the full cost of council's whole waste management function continues to be fully funded by waste charges, but it is an area of concern in the future.
Thank you, Councillor Lovett. Other councillors? I'd just like to make one comment. We are seeing each year the increasing biting effect of rate capping, which of course is based on CPI prices, which is a bundle of household goods, eggs and milk, bread. It doesn't take into account the actual cost of doing business in local government, the cost of engineering, the cost of bitumen, the cost of road repairs, which are going up much faster than the household goods. And of course, what that means over time is our underlying bottom result is travelling south. We're in the same situation as other councils. I think small councils, it's just worse because you have less opportunity, less capacity to manage it. Now, hopefully there is some work by peak organisations, and one of those pieces of work is that hopefully the government, I think, or both the government and the opposition, whoever's in government in the future, will be have a continued commitment to rate capping. But one of the things they might look at is how the rate cap is actually determined, and the basis of that to be more realistic to the work of local government. So we just have to hope and see, because if not, the situation is going to get very bleak. And Councillor Lovett's highlighted in relation to waste. But we are biting into core services, and we will do that because we just can't afford to do anything else. And that's you can be clever to a degree, you can be smart with systems. We're trying to do all of those things, but at the end of the day, we like all councils are facing an increasingly difficult situation. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried. Item 8.9, the draft motorised mobility device strategic plan. Councillor seeking a motion. Thank you. Councillor Vella.
Recommendation that council endorse the draft motorised device strategic plan 2022-2027 for public exhibition from the 27th of April 2022 to 13th of May 2022.
Thank you, Councillor Vella. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Bird. It's Councillor Vella.
Yes, well, the need for motorised mobility aid strategy was identified through the walking and cycling strategy 2017 and 20 to 2026. The strategy noted that a number of older people and people with mobility issues in the Shire are using motorised scooters for transportation. That number is certainly increasing as time goes by. Safety is a huge focus for both users of mobility devices and pedestrian cyclists alike. The planning principles developed to support this vision include safety, connectivity, independence, awareness, integration, and partnerships. The rules around usage of motorised mobility devices are considered under the Road Safety Act and Victorian Road Safety Road Rules 2017 to be, I note, to be pedestrians. Hence, pedestrian rules apply. Furthermore, mobility devices must have a maximum speed of 10 kilometres per hour on level ground and weigh no more than 110 kilo without the user or luggage on board. No registrations or driver's licences are required in Victoria for motorised vehicles, mobility use. However, in Queensland, users are required to be registered but don't need a licence, and I can see that happening in Victoria in the not too distant future as the use increases over time. A number of dangerous hotspots have been identified throughout Maryborough and should be addressed, if possible, to improve the safety and accessibility. Having this draft motorised mobility strategy will endorse and address these issues moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lavelle. Councillor Villiers?
I would just like to add that the draft plan makes for really interesting reading. It gave me a completely different perspective on this whole issue, and I would like to encourage people to have a look at it. And I think what I found really enlightening was on page 5 of the draft, they actually have pictures of what is intended or means of what is a mobility device. And I think that will disappoint a lot of young people, but it's really worth a read to have a look at this draft. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Other councillors? Put the motion. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Item 8.10, the Chief Executive Officer Performance Management Report. As I mentioned before, there is a report there. I'll seek a motion in a moment in relation to that report. That deals with the process that was undertaken in relation to the Chief Executive Officer Employment Matters Advisory Committee policy that operates. There are issues in relation to KPIs and remuneration that we will deal with. They fit within the Local Government Act provisions of confidentiality, so we'll deal with those later in, as I mentioned before, in 8.12 on confidential business. But at this point, seeking a motion in relation to the report. Councillors. Thank you, Councillor Lovett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I would like to move that in 5 minutes, council go in camera. This issue contains items of a confidential nature and therefore cannot be discussed publicly.
Okay, thank you. A seconder?
Also second, thank you.
Okay. Councillor Lovett, did you want to talk to the motion?
No.
It was explained. I'll put that motion straight away then. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried. Just before we've got a couple of minutes left before we adjourn, and that's just to say that there are no notices of motion. Item 9, there's no urgent business. Is there any urgent business, councillors? Other business, I just wanted to note, and I think that the feedback from all councillors in relation to Anzac Day was very, very positive. The attendances were up. Very successful commemorations all round. Congratulations to all of those that contributed. And also, just to finally note before we go into adjournment, this will be the last week. Mr. Martin Collins, will be with us as General Manager Community Wellbeing. He's taken up a job with the state government. He served us, I think, for 3 years. Approximately 3 years. I haven't got the exact date. Has made a wonderful contribution in a lot of areas, particularly in relation to youth policy, goldfields policy, a number of the initiatives. Very strong background in social policy, social justice. We wish him well. and thank him very much for his contribution with us, which has been, I think, quite exemplary. So good luck to Martin as he goes with his new venture with the Commonwealth. So with that, then we will now then take the 5-minute break, which will and then we'll resume in camera. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we'll cut at this stage. Then we'll cut the external the coverage, and thank those in the gallery for attending, and appreciate everyone's contribution. Thank you.